I'm Giovanni Gallucci, and we are talking about social media and how you can use social media and social networking to enhance your online marketing initiatives. And right now, during this chapter, we're going to talk about presence applications. So, we're talking text here, we're talking social networking. With Twitter, you don't have audio or anything like that going on, but you could conceivably, using Pounce, take one of those promos that we talked about, a 30-second or a minute promo, and upload that to Pounce, and people could click on it and listen to it. We also talked about, and I mentioned the usage of the logo or as a branding tool to drive some consistency through all your different social networks. And the reason why I'd mentioned the badges down there, you'll see over here, all these people that are in my network, that's why it's important. And you want to pick an image that is going to be identifiable and recognizable when it's very, very small as well as when it's large. So it takes, if you're not going to use, the face of an individual, you need to come up with a logo that's easily identifiable. So you've got this logo right here for the 10-minute lessons. You've got this logo down here for Aerial Mental. Those are easily recognizable logos that, even though they're small or large, I know what's going on there. Let's look at a couple of Twitter-related tools that you can use to push content into your feed. Now, since the gist of the class here is online marketing, getting a message out, we also obviously want to look at some creative ways that we can use Twitter and these online applications to then spread some of the messages we're getting in other places into say these presence apps. One thing that you're probably recognizing now that we've gone through all these different areas and we've talked about all this stuff is that you're looking at, if you're going to be aggressive in social networking and social media, you're looking at a lot of maintenance, and there's a lot of upkeep, keeping everything straight, understanding that you've got a certain campaign you're going to be running, or you're trying to get a certain message out, and you've got to keep track of what you're doing where. Now, first and foremost, your best friend is going to be Microsoft Excel or another spreadsheet program. You definitely want to go in and keep track of your usernames. You want to keep track of what you've been doing on the platform, so you've got one place to look to, at a minimum, have some kind of a schedule that you're going to interact with these things on a regular basis. You don't want to go up and set up a presence somewhere and only hit that website once a week. You've got to be actively engaged in these networks. And that's why if you're going to kind of take an approach where you're going to kind of attack several different channels in this arena, you might find that you have to have several people doing it with you for it to be effective. If you don't have several people doing it with you, you need to when you start off, maybe pick 5, maybe 4 or 5 that you're going to go after and see what kind of time it takes for you to become an active member in these networks and these communities and stay active and engage people so that you are bringing value to your company or your brand or the organization or the person you're doing this for. So with all that said, we want to find ways that we can update a community or update some kind of a social networking tool or a media tool and have it then feed that information over to another. And when it comes to Twitter and blogs and podcasts and anything run off a RSS feed, Twitter feed is the answer for us. I'm going to go back to Twitter and show you the history on my account, but I'll explain a little bit to you what Twitter feed does. Again, very simple, basically one task that this application takes care of for you. You log into Twitter feed and you tell Twitter feed the RSS feeds to some of the other social networking sites you have on the web. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we're only talking about blogs and podcasts. Many social communities like Facebook push feeds out to notify you and so you can get updates on what's happening within your network or on your own account. So if we look at Twitter feed and see what I have pushed in here, I've got feeds that are pushing over to my personal blog, GallucciNet. I've got one to my company's blog, which is Dexterity Media. And actually that's going to my company's website. So if we change content on the website, I push that a link and a mention out to Twitter automatically. Green Burbia is another blog that myself and my wife have. The agency blog is the company blog that we talk about social marketing and things like that and search marketing. GNet Podcast, that's a link to my podcast feed. Wellsphere blog is a health and wellness website that I help with and do some work on. And then GNet Video is a video podcast website that I run. So what you see, the frequency here, a Twitter feed will go out to each one of these feeds. Then as you see on my scheduling here, it's going to go and check my personal website and my corporate website and the website as Wellsphere. It's going to check those every half an hour. And if it looks on the timestamps of the latest information and it finds that that item is new, it will take the title of that item and part of the text of the content, and it'll push it over to Twitter with a hyperlink attached. So if people are interested in what that title says, they can click over, and I'll show you that in a second. You also are able to tell it whether or not you just want it to grab the very last item, or if you want it to post up to 5 of the last items. And the reason why you might do that is, let's say on the GalucciNet blog, I go crazy one day and I drink too much coffee and I start posting blogs every 10 minutes. Well, if I want Twitter feed to be able to push all that content over to Twitter to tell people that Gio's got too much caffeine in his system, then I want to make sure that it doesn't only check the very last one, that it checks multiple ones if it comes back and that very last one has been sent. So that's minor, but it's a big deal when it comes to having a tool on the web that really kind of goes the extra mile to help you get all your content out there on Twitter. It'll give you the choice whether or not you want to do title description, title only, or description only into the Twitter feed, and then you can put a prefix onto the content before it pushes it over to Twitter. I really love this feature because what it allows me to do is whenever someone sees something that comes through Twitter from me, they can look and say, ooh, this is Dexterity, that's from this company, who cares what he's doing with this company? This is from Gio's blog. Well, let's do that, because if he falls off a bicycle, then he's definitely going to blog about it and we want to laugh at him. So people can have a glance at my Twitter feed and make a decision based upon that prefix, whether or not they want to click on that link and get more information, because they can then figure out if it's something in the past that has been interesting to them. This is the message I sent. People call them twits or tweets. I call people on Twitter twits, but people call the messages tweets. So there's the last tweet that I just sent during this class, and there's the hyperlink. So we would hope that we would check our website analytics, and the folks at Xtrain will come in and tell me that they've gotten just a mountain of traffic based upon the fact that I just mentioned the website on Twitter. The feeds that come from Twitter feed are easy to identify. You see Dexterity Media there. Someone else posted something to the blog, so that was pushed through. There's the agency blog. There's my blog. There's my blog again. That's one that I just posted directly to the site, agency blog. So you see what's going on here. Green Burbia. So anytime that I go and I update content on any of my blogs, and it's interesting that the developers created this, because I used to do just this. I would go and I would post something on my blog, and then I'd virtually run around the internet like a chicken with my head cut off, and try to post on all these networks saying, hey, come look at me, I've got something on my blog. And you have to do that in social networking in a lot of cases to tell people that there's something over here that you think is so important they've got to stop what they're doing and come look at. Well, the folks with a Twitter feed have made that a non-issue for me now, because anytime I post anything on a blog that I'm trying to market, I can have as many feeds as I want to push directly into my Twitter account.